Test, 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 test. Of course, it's got to be 1 hour late. How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm gonna wait until a few people start showing up. Um, praise God for praise God for another day, right? All glory to God. Hey, Chris. Hey, Chris. Yeah, God. Hey, God's been answering my prayers lately too. Um, Apologize for being a little late. Yeah, I almost like I almost want to say, for like shows and stuff, like, okay, it'll be around this time or around that time. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Like instead of having like official times, but that's not fair, really. I don't think. Like I really got to be more consistent, more, you know. The I think the thing that makes me feel kind of okay, right, is because I'm never asleep more than 2 hours. I know you guys are so wonderful, man. Like I don't deserve yeah, I don't deserve how great you guys are. And yesterday we had like we had a great stream. We did have a little infighting or whatever, but and it did take me a long time to work on it. But everything is good, I think. Everything is good. And I'm gonna like manage my time differently, I think, because there's some people that need more of my time. And what's crazy is like the way God is, right? And I'm very careful when I speak for God, right? But the way God is like, in my experience, right? In my opinion, let me preface it by saying that is that whatever way I think He's gonna do it, He does it a different way. like I'm never like dead on or right, like, oh yeah, yeah, I knew God was gonna do that. And like it's never like, I'm not gonna say never predictable, but God always does it in a way where that it's God. It's not exactly the way you thought, or it's close, but there's a twist or something. And I don't have a good example of that, but I know that you guys have experienced that too, where you're like, oh, I'm leaning on God to like get through this one thing, and you do, and it is what you prayed for, but it just like there was some kind of twist where you're like, wow, God has a sense of humor. you know God, he really wanted me to see something, or he really wanted to show me something. But anyway, I'm just babbling right now, so let me that word babble, right? Like it's from it's from when they're building the tower. And it's weird, like all these little like sayings and all these little phrases that are it's weird. It's like if once you start reading the Bible, right, you start noticing all the little biblical stuff that's really in real life, like like you're like, oh wow, man, that's from the Bible. And it's like not, it's more than just predictive programming. I mean, it's in everything. Everything is exactly the way God wrote it. I I wish I wish I could answer. I wish I could express myself better. But let me say hello to everybody. How you doing today, Chris? What's going on, Teresa? How you doing? Um, Sheila's here. Gypsies. I forget your first name, but hey, Gypsies, how you doing? What's up, Clutch? And Ray of Sunshine is here. I'm so glad that you're back. You were back last time, but you're back today too. And there's Deb. How you doing, Deb? All caps. And there's Chris again. And let's see here. Did I miss anybody? I feel like I didn't. If I did miss you, oh, there's Mr. Gander. How you doing, buddy? If I do miss you, right, it means I love you double. It's more love. It's like It means that there's more love in there. And hey, Sky, how you doing? You snuck in there. How you doing? Blessings to you too. Blessings to you too. And yeah, let me read some of this stuff, right? Oh, thanks for saying that, Chris. I appreciate it. Man, I'll tell you what, like, um, see, like, the group knows, right? Like, we have a demographic here that's hard to deny, right? And we're good with that, right? We like who we are, right? But I was praying for a young guy, to come in here, and I specifically said that, and I prayed for someone like Chris to come, and it's almost like I'm talking to me at that age, even though he's not that much younger than me. He's 15 years almost, but or 12 years or whatever. But because I have two boys, and I have one boy that's not saved, and so I think about that, right? Like, I hope that there's somebody out there that could be there for my boy, and because sometimes you can't hear it from like a family member for some reason. It's got to be someone else, from outside. And I'm not saying that's the case in every scenario, but like my mom said, like, because I told my mom, right, I'm like, hey, I get like all this love from people. I'm like, I just want love from my family, from my regular family, like my brother, my mom, and everything, right? And my mom said it like this, right? Which is kind of, I mean, it's a little out there, right? Because like this person is like a celebrity, right? But she goes, like Tom Brady, right? Is and of course the truth, there's no the narrative on that, but bear with me, right? Is that Tom Brady is Tom Brady to the world, right? Like champion, football player, all that, right? And but like at home, right, to his mom, right? He's just Tom, They're not going to get all pumped up for him. You know what I mean? Like he's just Tom. He's a regular guy, or whatever he is, right? And so it's like your regular family sometimes can't really see, if you have something special about you, sometimes it's hard for them to see it. Like it's got to be from outside of that, outside of seeing you all the time. And so I kind of get that. I mean, it was a weird way to explain it, but it did resonate with me, that, that would be right, on Thanksgiving, his mom's not like, oh, wow, Tom Brady's coming to Thanksgiving. I don't know, bad example. Another Satanist out there, part of the Roman circus, right? Part of the part of the goofy machine out there, And so, like, Jesus said that, wait, what, I don't know if it was Jesus that said this now. I gotta be careful what I'm quoting. Um, in the last days, right, there will be, people that are saying that are, that good is bad and bad is good and bitter is sweet, right? It's, I mean, we are there, we are there. It is, pretty crazy. Let me read this. Let me just start reading chats now. Chris says, I couldn't fathom. I hope and pray that that never happens to my son. Definitely prayers for your son, Stephen. Yeah, like it's hard. Like I've even tried to like force it. Like you have to trust me. You have to do this. But at some point, right, in my prayers, right, he's his own. He's a human being on his own. He's like got his own path and his own decisions to make, and as hard as it is, right? God has let me know that God loves my son as much as me or more, and so as tough as that is, I gotta accept that, and it's and me and that son are very, very close. We're very, very close, but we don't have a lot in common, as much as I do with the oldest one. But I would say that me and the youngest one are a lot closer. And so Mr. Gander says the book of Ezra 1:111, all vessels of gold and of silver were $5,400. All of these did Sheshbazzar bring up with them of captivity that were brought up of them from Babylon into Jerusalem. Oh, wow. So beautiful. I'm not a good out loud reader. Wish I was better, but that is my favorite book in the Bible. I've only read it twice, but it's my favorite book. I like how when he's talking to the angel of the Lord and he's asking all those questions, well, what about the people? Would, would they be better off not even being born than to not accept, uh, it's hard to quote it because it makes me sad. Uh, anyway, Deb says Cindy and Stephen gave us an extra hour with. Yeah, and I'm glad that you guys are doing good, and you guys are so important to me, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about. And so, hey, I'll even say this, right? Like, off the subject, onto a new subject, is that let's say that we have at this point, right, in order to get like new sheep, right, people that might be brand new Christians or Christian truthers that are out there. I mean, because look, truthers are like it could be a pretty brutal deal. It's like truthers doing videos about each other. I mean, it's like it gets pretty sick, man. Like it gets pretty sick, and so you got a Christian truther out there with caught up in the drama. We want a place for them, or we want a place for a new sheep, right? And sometimes we think a person should act a certain way, right? But if they can't, right, if they're not acting right, it's not about, hey, this person is not right, I got to take off. It's about this person is not right, I got to help them be right. But like I don't need to be the one fixing anything, you know? I gotta be there for this person. The reason they're not right is because they can't be right. They're not there yet, right? We gotta be patient with each other. And I don't like the word tolerant, right? I don't like that at all, right? I don't like the word tolerant because it's not about that. It's about loving our neighbor as we love ourselves, you know? Like I always view people that are doing me wrong as people that are sick, you know, not people that are bad. And so, you know, a sick person can get well, you know? And I think patience and you know, like if and all the time I'm in this situation, right, where I could focus on, you know, what's happening to me personally, right now, or I could rise above it and do what my calling is, right? And so it's because I have the ability to rise above it, right, and that other person doesn't, it's my job to do that. Because if God gives you 10 talents, right, and another person 5 talents, then it's on it, you got more is expected of you, you know? And so if you could if you're in a situation where you're not even wrong, but you can still rise above, then that's God, you know, probably telling you that there's one more level you can go up and be special, you know? And see that's like the biggest problem with a chat like this, right? When I pray, like I get this like sense that like, you know, in order to even be here, you got to be a pretty special person, like to find this place, to be this awake, right? To be this lined up with God, right? You got the relationship with God down pat, right? And but the problem is when you're surrounded by special people, sometimes they forget that they're not the only special person, right? Some people know, right? Are very humble about it. But some people forget that, like, hey, look, the people, the other people in here are pretty special too, you know? And I hate to even use that word because nobody is like of higher value than anybody else in the world, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, um, you know, there was more given to us as far as the truth, and there's kind of a responsibility on us, right? And we're more awake than most of the world, right? And so you know, and I know, right, that if you found a person like me on the street, that's rare. If I found a person like you on the street, that's super rare. That's not something you're going to find around every corner. And so when you get a whole group of them together, right, sometimes there's people that forget that, you know, that they're not the only one that's, you know, and so we got to deal with some ego sometimes, right? We got to deal with some you know, and so let's be kind to each other, right? And let's like try to lower our expectations, right? Not because we should be at a lower standard, but because when we put expectations on people and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't happen the way we want, right? Sometimes there's it leaves open that door to have a resentment, right? When really we should be focused on what God wants us to do, right? And so, yes, right, love God with everything, right? That's the number one commandment, love God with everything. But let's not forget that we got to love each other. That's a commandment, you know? We got to do it. If you love God, you have to do it. That's what he says, right? If you love me, you'll do my commandments. And so sometimes I feel like, you know, of course, we all go through this, right? Where you're like, all I care about is my relationship with God, man. Forget everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about making God happy, and it is, right? But that's not exactly everything, right? It's we got to love God with everything. We got to love each other. 2 commandments he gave us, and so I think that's important, right? And so here, this is what I'll tell you, right? A this is a good way to spot. Um, if somebody is like, well, okay, if you run into somebody, right, that is that is only righteous through God, right? Only Jesus Christ makes us righteous. And if someone says, "Hey, you know, I believe in Jesus and everything, but I don't know, like I follow all the rules perfectly," and that's a person that's very scared. I'm very scared for that person, right? Because if you're righteous on your own, right? If you're righteous because you follow the rules perfectly, you're in bad shape. And this is what's crazy is that an unsaved person is not going to understand what I just said. It's going to sound absurd, right? It's going to sound absurd that a self-admitted wicked person, right, that relies on the sacrifice of Jesus Christ is going to go to the kingdom of heaven, right? And a person that is righteous all on their own without the need of Jesus' sacrifice, right, is not. And that is absurd to people. But when you are saved, right, that's the power of God, right? That's the power of God because it's his glory alone, right? Now I could be as I could be as try to be as righteous as possible, and that's what we got to be. And I live a very disciplined life, but that's not going to get me to heaven. That's none of that matters. It matters to us, right? And it does matter to God, but like it doesn't matter for salvation. And it's yeah, I heard about that, Joel, and you know what, Chris, I heard you did a really nice job, and I'll just say that thank you, but also be careful. Sometimes sometimes we don't know exactly what we're dealing with, and I'm just you did really well. Just be careful giving out your personal information. If you did, I don't know, but fantastic. Um, I can talk to you about it after, Jeb. I don't want to mention it right now, but I will. I'll fill you in for sure, like immediately after this is over. So I understand that. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? Sometimes we have to face people, and you know what? Thank you, Chris, for sticking up for me. Like it doesn't happen very often, and I don't recommend it, but thank you. And hey, Faye, what's going on? I don't know if I said hi today. And yeah, the fulfillment of the troll junk, right? Well, that's what's crazy, right? So, me and Teresa are gonna get into the Book of Acts, right? We've been saying that for a week, right? But we are gonna do it, right? And yes, during the Book of Acts, right? We should, of course, right? It should be about Jesus and the Holy Spirit, right? But um, but what the Book of Acts is about is overcoming all those trolls, right? So in a sense, right? Of course, it's not virtual; it's in real life. What they went through in Acts, right? Is Paul going to jail, Stephen getting stoned, right? It's about people dying and overcoming and going town to town, and you know the Bible's full of trolls, man, and it's about overcoming, right? There's no victims here, right? There's no victims here because we're not kids anymore. We're grown adults, right? We're overcomers. Not that we can't be victimized, right? We can be in our adult life, but we're overcomers. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. That's no good, man. Come on. And so yeah, I won't have that kind of stuff. And so I'll just say that I mean that's kind of, oh, hey, Dutch Sailor. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. Serbath D. I wonder if I pronounced that correctly. I don't speak Dutch, but um hello. AJ Blunt, man. I'm glad to see you, man. I sometimes I forget if I saw you last time or not because you're so quiet. You don't cause no grief, you know. And you require like you're one of the people that require the least amount of work, and some I should pop in and check on you more, you know. Oh, it's Latin. I gotta start brushing up on some of that stuff. Yeah, no weapon shall prosper, man. And hey, and but that goes with anything, right? Nothing's gonna hurt you in life, man. Not if you believe, right? If you have faith, right? The only time that anything's gonna hurt you is if it's in God's will, right? That's it. Because He's the biggest factor on earth, you know. Oh, it's servant of God translated. Oh wow, I love that, man. I love that, man. I really do. I think that that's beautiful. See, that channel here is called Good Servant, and there was two of us, and so I was uh I was just the servant, you know. But now everyone's been calling me Good Servant for so long that it just stuck, you know. And so whatever, you know. And so I just hope that what we could do now is, if anything goes awry, let's rise above and ignore it, you know. And this is a good test right here, you know. Rise above and ignore it. And and trust me to handle it after, you know. That's all I'll say. Only because I feel like that I've given people enough reasons to trust me at this point, you know. You said I got my wife sick to faithful. What does that mean, AJ? Is it like from sick to faithful? I would like to know what that meant, AJ. Oh, you're sick. Oh, you're talking to Faith. Okay. Well, I'm sorry that you got your wife sick. I hope she feels better, you know. Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, we live and learn, right? We got to make our own mistakes and learn, right? And so what does that mean, Clutch? That's interesting. Vincent Qui, I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't want to mess it up, you know. Someone will probably chop it out, and who cares what people do? I'm not really worried about that, but it'll happen. She says, thank you, Stephen. Oh, she's right there. Oh, that's wonderful. That's right. That's right. The body's just detoxing. Tom is good at, he watched all of those, Dr. Andy Kaufman, videos, right? And when you're sick, it's not from, you know, like it's not from an outside source, right? It's your body cleaning itself. And so it's a much more pleasant thought, right? That something didn't come in to infect you. It's your body detoxifying from something poison. And you know, God made us in an amazing way, but we've been eating and drinking all this poison out there that it's really insane, right? It really is insane, like all these ingredients that are in everything, you know. And what I really would like, right, is for someone that knows about like um, health and diet and that kind of thing to come on and really talk about like things that we could eat differently and ways that we can honor our bodies, you know, in the sense that you know, to take care of ourselves health wise, you know. But I will be one happy camper when I take off this meat suit, you know what I mean? And you know, to become incorruptible and to be able to worship God in the best way possible, I think is going to be awesome, you know. Yep, you can't beat it. It's all man-made. It can't. It can also be man-fixed. Yeah, you know, it's um, it's crazy. Just what you know. You never think people are that sick. You know that like a person could be like that because you know when you're naive, you think, oh well, no one could be that sick because I can't be that sick to people. You know, and yeah, it's really insane. You know, this world is backwards, man. I've actually been like trolled for talking about having sexual integrity and not watching porn, but yet people talk about like, oh, you know, all this crazy stuff that they want to see on camera, you know, on YouTube, right? That nasty stuff, right? And somehow that's not gross. You know, it is backwards, right? And God said that they would be all of one mind, and they would call bitter sweet, and say good is bad and bad is good. I mean, it's written exactly how it's happening. And that kind of stuff can't be faked, you know, like to run into people that are backwards is just unbelievable. Good morning, BB. Man, every time I see you in the chat, I'm just gonna be honest. Like I get calm when I see you because you have such a strong presence and a good spirit. You know, not that everyone you know else doesn't, right? But like you're especially stable. You know, and that's a gift. You know, it's just like James. James is like an oak. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And so, hey Sheila, how's the did you hear back from the job yet? I wonder how Rob is doing, you know. I really hope that because I heard he got a good lead on something, a good lead on a job, and I don't know how it turned out. That was a few days ago, so I don't know. But I do have some like unanswered you know, mail and some texts, you know, of course, probably people saying I was late. And so I really do apologize for that. But it's weird how like the shows end up being pretty darn good, you know what I mean? Like even when like it's late or like maybe it's like God lifting us up above like some of the fray, right? Cuz you know, we did have like a day yesterday where people would be focused in on us. And so for them to have to wait an hour on us, right? Maybe that was kind of good that it happened that way, you know? Having a big family is how we win. Well, let's remember Jesus Christ, right? Jesus Christ is the ultimate champion, right? The ultimate hero of the story. I mean, that's can't be any better than that, you know? That God gave him all power, right? All power, not some of it, not part of it, all power. And that's a great thing because he's going to baptize this place in fire. and they don't want the world to end, the end, right? But like this is the thing, right? It doesn't end. The evil goes away, and we carry on in a glorified body. But there are people that don't want that yet. They don't want to for the end to come and to carry on glorified and without any yuckiness in the world. And some Christians aren't there yet either, right? And that's fine. They're not there yet, but pretty soon we got to get that way. That's what I'm thinking. And it's like I like how God explains it. It's like we got to be like kids again. And just really want our Father to come back. And it's so good how he explained how the division would happen with us. That there would be division amongst us. And it'll even get down to uh, mother against son and father against daughter, and it gets crazy. Oh yeah, hey Faith, what happened to your channel? I was looking for it and I couldn't find it to give to Tom. I don't know if it got deleted or if something's going on with it, but because I know you get strikes a lot because you're pretty bold with what you say, which is kind of refreshing, to be honest. Because so many people self-censor, including me, and it is a way of consenting to the system, and I hate it. And I used to not care, but then they gave me a community guideline strike they said for giving out medical advice. And all I said was like, I don't know, for someone to be skeptical of the vacation, the vacation poke. And if I would have said, hey, take it, get it, then they wouldn't have said nothing, But oh, that sucks. You lost that channel. You had like 300 or 400 subscribers or something like that. You probably would have been at 1,000 already if you wouldn't have lost the two channels. And that's the magic number. Once you hit 1,000 and you can do all the stuff, that's all that matters. Is being able to go live straight from YouTube if you want, and having the community board that helps. But I think they do it at 500 like now, where you get a community board. I'm not sure how the live works. I think they should let you go live from YouTube, anyway, but I see it's expensive to stream. This is what I don't get is how do they get the money to store all of this stuff, Like, I mean, it's got to be hemorrhaging money. Even though a lot of people come here, it's got to be hemorrhaging money. And, that's another thing to look at, to say, it's not about money. It's about our soul. It's always been about our soul, They don't care about making money. I mean, they made it look, our whole lives like, oh, just follow the money, man. It's all about money. It's all about making a few bucks, right? And it is, right, in the sense that they want to squeeze us, but it's really not. It's about your soul. Oh, so okay, you got your community post at 900. See, I didn't get it till I hit 1,000. I got my community post. So at least that's good that you have it, BB. Well, you have over 1,000 though, anyway. That's the magic number. Once it hits there, you don't have to care anymore. I don't even know what other benefits that we would even get for more than that. But that's the only number I really cared about. Because when it hit 150, I couldn't believe that many people wanted to hear me. Like, I was like, no way, dude. No way does 150 people want to be listening to me on their way to work, It was me and Tom. And I think it was smart because we had like 20 or 30 minute, 40-minute. I mean, we kept it like very short so that people would be kind of hungry for that next episode, And it was mostly lucky. It was mostly lucky finding these things out pretty quickly. And yeah, I wish I had Tom on here more. But so Teresa, is it so are we gonna do it Monday or because I don't know how you are on the weekends. I forgot. I think you said Monday through Friday, so I'm gonna go ahead and count on that. And today was my fault that I was late. Oh, hey y'all, how you doing? Welcome. I'm glad you're here. What's up, Kurt? Hey, Kurt, how did you find us? I'm always interested to know how people found us. To this area, it's difficult to find us here, you know. And I'd like to know like what path that is because when you're a missionary, right? You know, we're always trying to get new sheep, right? And I this is a term I heard recently that I never thought of before, but someone said like it's called grub hubbing or something like that. Sub grubbing, where like you ask someone to come back to your channel, and so like a lot of people are handpicked, right? And people get upset at that too, right? And when I say handpicked, this is what I mean, right? If you're watching a truth channel and somebody says a comment under the thing, right, that is exactly what you're thinking, the way you're thinking about it, right? You're like, wow, that's exactly what I was thinking. Then you say, okay, well, this person and me think alike, right? So, like, hey, look, I agree with your statement. I think that we would get along, right? Come back over to the channel. And people feel special, right? When, you know, you've invited them to your channel, right? And so when you got like a group of people that have been invited, I think it adds an extra level of value. Like, you know, like cuz like you can feel not only accepted because you're here, but wanted, right? Like, okay, you came to me, you know, and brought me here, right? And so I don't know. I think that there's value in that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People got a problem with that, and also like you know, if I don't see somebody for a while, I'll go and say, "Hey, look, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing good." You know, no pressure or anything, but it's good for people to know that hey, you were missed. You know, that your presence was noticed, that it was gone. That's how important you are. And so, you know, hey, people got a problem with that, then that's on them too. You know, it's all about what God wants me to do, right? And as long as I love other people and you know I want people to make it, right? And do what I can to help them, then it is what it is, right? What's up, Anti Venom? I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here, Karen. This was a little bit later, so it kind of helped. It kind of was better for you. I know a lot of people would be better if it was later. I know that, and but there's all. It's like this. It's like split even on if because like Tom and I want to do it actually earlier, but that's not gonna. I mean, I'm trying to do that. I don't know if that's gonna even happen. If it does, it's gonna be. Oh, you've seen Kurt before? Okay, cool, BB. That's cool. Hey, Kurt, welcome, man. Welcome. And yeah, I mean, hey, you're right, Kurt. I mean, I can understand that. You know. Okay, you got here a while ago. Okay, that's awesome, Kurt. Oh yeah, through over there. Okay. I get you. I get you. Hey, sometimes, you know, people see that negative stuff over there and they're like, oh, I want to check this guy out, man. Because obviously, if he's been talked about negative over here, he's probably good, you know? I've had people say that to me. I'm like, well, you know, whatever floats your boat, whatever gets you here, you know? Getting here is half the battle, right? And supporting each other is like another part of it, you know? I mean, it is just crazy. I mean, this world is so crazy, man. It's so backwards, man. Everything is just so backwards. I have no idea. I never thought I would see any of this stuff come true in this way. It's so bold, right? It's so much the way Jesus said that it's like it just it's just it leaves you. It should leave you with no doubt. If you read the Bible and you see things um coming true, right, in the way that he says it exactly, right, if it's happening specifically to you, where there's division in your family, division in your friends, right, and it's all over the truth, right, like we all equally believe in the Bible 100%, but like we have our own, like if I talk about rapture, no rapture, everyone pops like popcorn in here. If I talk about other, there's other topics that are 50, right? And it makes everything, pop like popcorn. Oh, I gotta decline that. It's like everything causes division, and so the only thing I could think of, right, that is going to be good is we still got inspirational verses we can do, right, or we can just do a line by line study, right? Because we can't. There's nothing that we could say about the truth the way it is, and yeah, no, I understand. I understand. I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I got your message. And so, yeah, I mean, we do what we can. And, unfortunately, right, there's going to be some of us that don't get along, right? And, but like, it comes to a point where I equally need, you guys. And it comes to a point where I'm like, well, you guys are just gonna have to get along. I mean, like, I don't feel that way about everybody, right? Like, there are people that I say, hey, we'll work it out, we'll see what happens or whatever, right? But then there's also like, there's also a level where it's like if if there's two of you that I need really bad, you just are gonna have to make it, you know. I mean, I need you guys more than you need me. That's for sure. Like you each have like a gift that you bring here, and don't think that I don't notice and that I take that lightly. I don't. And anytime someone feels like leaving the group or that they can't deal with some of this stuff, right? I'm like, oh no, you can't go. Like I need you for this, and this, and hey, look, if you think that I want to like spend all day trying to hold it together, I don't. I really don't. I would rather spend the whole day like chilling, but that never happens. And so I asked her all this, right? And so it's and this is what it takes. And so I'm just grateful that God trusts me with people, and I'm glad that you guys trust me, and that makes me feel happy. And we're rolling here to the end pretty soon. And this is just a virtual presence, right? It's gonna get bad in the physical world, and I can't sugarcoat that. It will. It'll get bad. And Hannah showed me a video the other day of like how it is in Australia. There's like certain businesses that'll have like a piece of paper in the window that says we don't discriminate. And that's where they got to go if they don't have the jab, right? Only businesses that have that paper in it. I mean that's some crazy stuff, right? Where you're not allowed to go anywhere and into a store or anything like that unless there's a special invitation of inviting people that haven't had the jab. It's like we won't discriminate against you. I mean, that's scary, man. That means that people have officially gone insane. I mean, whether you have a poke or not a poke for a sickness that may be out there, right? I mean, I mean, to the regular person, you can't even say for sure, right? And if you watch Dr. Andy Kaufman stuff, you know about viruses and what that's all about, right? And so people have literally gone insane, man. I mean, just the idea that someone would take it and not know the ingredients in it is insane to me. Like, why would you put anything in your body and not know what it is? I mean, I put some pretty, I've taken some chances in my life, right? But at least I knew what the stuff was, you know? Like to put something in your body you have no idea what any of the ingredients are, that is terrifying. That is terrifying. Can you imagine that? Like, hey, I mixed this stuff together in the other room, man. You got to have it in order to stay here, you know? Like, what if someone said that to you, you know? Oh yeah, you could chill at my house, dog, but you gotta you gotta roll up your sleeve, man, because I gotta give you this shot, man. And it's insane, you know. She does, faithful. She does, faith. So many stories. Sometimes, like I'll call one of you guys, and it feels like I'm doing another show on the phone for like an hour or 2 hours or whatever. It could get crazy. Hey, Chris, you know, I mean that's an extreme way of saying it, but yes, yes, me too. Well, what does government mean, right? Government, mind control, government, right? And so you got all the mind controls together, and people are going to be all of one mind, right? And thinking evil continuously. People are going to be plugged into the same consciousness, have the same goal, have the same. I mean, it's going to be sick, man. They want to put computer chips in people. I mean, we can go on forever with that crap. I mean, but that's just fear porn, right? It's who cares, right? Because we have God, man. That's what matters. Congratulations. That's what I should be saying to people. Congratulations. Now spread that to someone else. Go tell someone else the good news and invite them here. And they can come here and fight with us. So you forget fighting out there. Come fight with us. But all joking aside, I get it. I have my bad days too when people are getting on my nerves. But if I focused on it and didn't rise above, then where would we be at, right? And if you have the ability to rise above, you got to do it. Got to do it. I know that no one wants to hear that, but even if you're not wrong, right? If you have the ability to go one level higher, that's on you. That's God wanting you to be more special. You know, man, that's probably a bad word to say that, special people, but like there's obviously people here with gifts. So that's what I mean by that. But you know how the devil is taking things out of context, really, really not knowing what you mean because they're baffled by the glory of God. They're baffled by the gospel news. It doesn't make sense to them that our Father loves us enough to take our punishment for us. To the lost, that's an absurd statement. And that's another thing Jesus told us about. And you cannot fake that, right? If people are like baffled by the gospel message, right? And to us it seems very simple that's like, and God wrote in there that this is what it's going to be like, right? How do you fake that, right? Like, how could you not say the Bible is true and coming to true every day in the way that it's happening? Like, anybody that I know that reads the Bible, there's no doubt in their mind that what they're reading is true. Nothing, you're right. There's nothing really like, yeah, we're equal value, all of us, right? But there is something special about you, Ray. You're awake to a lot of truths, right? And so there's a lot of things that you're awake to and willing to accept that are, I would say above the average human being in this area, right? So special in the sense that you have your own talent, right? Just like everyone else has their own talent. And so that's what I'll say, right? Because you're special to me, it is something that I notice in this field, right? In this little niche area, right? Is amongst us, right? There's a noticeable thing that you have. And so I'll say that, Ray, for sure. There's no doubt. There's no doubt that there are things that I would go to you for, right? That I wouldn't go to your average person about. No doubt. And so, but as far as value, yeah, we're not better than anybody, right? That's obvious, right? There's times where, you're looking at some pretty, you know, some people that are behaving pretty badly, and you're like, well, maybe my fruit or my behavior might be better, but that person is equal to me. And, maybe that person needs to get good, or needs help, you know, um, needs help understanding that there's another way, right? And but God said that the road is narrow and few will find it. Many are called, but few are chosen. And it's sad, right? Because my heart wants everybody to make it. My heart wants everybody to make it, but it's not going to happen. That's just how it is. It's not going to happen. And they're going to be baffled and they're not going to understand the parables, right? Because they're not honestly seeking God. That's right. That's exactly a good way to say that, Chow. We're not better. We're just better off, right? Because when, we're secure in our salvation, right? And a lot of people aren't. But the reason we can be secure about it is because He does all the work. That's why all the glory belongs to Him. That's why we're here not for ourselves, right? But to lift Him up, right? Not on Sunday or Saturday, right? Which we should do, right? On Saturday, the Sabbath, right? But every day, you know, every minute of every day, we should lift Him up. And if you run into somebody, right? I'm not saying trust me, run it through the Bible, right? If you run my behavior and my speech or whatever through the Bible and it checks out, then all right. Then I'll see you tomorrow, right? If it doesn't check out to you, right? Well, then, I'll catch you around. Hopefully you see it later. But just be careful, out there. And I'd say test all things. I wouldn't even say to not go other places. Go everywhere. Search and check if that's what you want to do, right? But just be careful because we're overwhelmed with people that are just they don't get it. Overwhelmed, you know. And oh yeah, Chow. Sorry about that, Chow. I don't know who else doesn't have a wrench or whatever, but I'll fix it. I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not, but let me fix Chow's wrench. Oops, hold on. Nope. I gotta click on this. Yep. Okay, Chow. I fixed your thing, and um. Okay, I don't see anybody else. I'll just come over here. Okay. But yeah, it is what it is. That's right, man. That's what we find that's how we can feel peace, right? It's because of Him. And that's what feels good is that anybody who wants it can have it. Why be a hater, right? When you could just have it yourself, And so, it is what it is. But all right, guys, I'm going to round out, right? And I'll see you guys definitely at 5 o'clock if you're here, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll say this, God bless you guys. Praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. And, all glory belongs to him. And, pray for the kids, Those are the only innocent people on earth, right? So